he cannot teach anything. He cannot express his teaching to the world because they are language. So he can teach the Dhamma to the world. This is my idea. I think I agree with your paper mostly. Thank you very much.
I can't see very well from here, but I think that must be Pramaha Somchai.
Pramaha Sombun.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the comment, sir. So I think Associate Professor Dr. Somwang would give some comment too.
No. Good morning, Dr. J. Vincent. I think that you are translator, right? You are translator. You work as a translator, right? Translator of the Buddhist text.
I try.
No, my question is: are you translator of Buddhist text? Because you mentioned some text that like a Pratya Paramita and what you have shown in the screen that you refer to some text. I think you are translator because your point is about problem of translation.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
The continuation of Buddhist go on by Buddhist text. We know that from the Pali, from the Sanskrit, in any group of Buddhism. And because of when we translate something, we not translate only literature, but the main thing is that we have to translate about culture, not literature. Literature, one part is literature and one part culture, right? My professor, I learned from him, Dr. Peter de la Santana. He is the U.S. man, and he complained to me that the one thing to make Westerner very difficult to make Westerner understand Buddhism because the concept of self. When we go by the line of philosophy, in Greek philosophy, one word appear in the some way, but can be translated as know yourself. That is from the Greek philosopher, right? When it comes to modern period, the father of the Western philosopher, René Descartes, I think therefore I am. But the point is, because we have to. I mean that in that sense, in that tradition, we have to be I first. From Greek up to the modern philosophy, right? But it's good point that you show the relationship between the Buddhist text and continental philosophy. And when we say continental philosophy, we focus on mainly on German philosopher and German and France, but not England, right? Because that is different between the analytical and what continental, right? But anyway, interesting that as I heard that somebody say that Schopenhauer is the first Buddhist from German philosophy, Schopenhauer, because he is the first to interest. He is first Buddhist, as somebody just showed the point. But interesting. But my point is come to the problem of translation. Translation in this sense, as the Venerable Sambun said that the problem of translation is the problem of language and problem of the truth conventional truth and ultimate truth. That is the bar for prevent the people not go not penetrate in the final. Right? One thing, the difference between I refer to the last professor who present the problem of why the Buddhists disappear from India. One factor is about the concept of anatta and soul, right? Because in Indian mind, they cannot think, they cannot understand without soul. Without a soul means the great soul. So the great soul means Atman or Paramatman, right? I know that one factor that why the concept of anatta of the Gautama just cannot fight back to the great soul. Right? But for Western concept cling to individual. Why Indian concept cling to the universal soul. Western concept cling to individual self. I think that is the point that we interesting, right? That's why we cannot understand because as you say that as you refer to Pali word Panchupathanakkhantha, right? Dukkha, right? Because that is concept exactly. In the Pali text confirm that only you cling to five aggregate that suffering just arise. Okay, that is the first part. For the part of Mahayana, suffering just come from duality. Duality means two. So in the part of Mahayana, we have to go beyond duality. Duality. What is duality? I and you, right? Therefore, we destroy that. We go beyond that. Then we cannot reach, but because the full happiness just come automatically to us. Okay, thank you. Sorry for speak too much. Thank you.
Can I just respond to one point there?
Yes, sir.
Descartes is very much not what's included in what's referred to as continental philosophy. It's very much what the continental philosophers are arguing against, the idea that I think, therefore I am. The whole idea is not to identify with the thoughts. The person who the thoughts are just not me. That there are thoughts. It's better to say there are thoughts. There are thoughts out there, and my mind thinks them, I guess. But in a way, they're like the finger pointing at the moon. They're not the moon. They're the finger. I shouldn't say that, but anyway.
Professor Jeff Wilson, you interpreted the Buddhist terms from the Western continental perspective, especially of Derrida's notion of deconstruction. You made the concept of anatta from the perspective of illusory sense of the self. That particular expression gives a kind of complicatory note that only when something exists, illusion comes out of it. But Buddha outrightly rejected the soul. Then instead of the soul, he introduced the skandhas. Are they illusory? One question. Another one observation is, from Husserl's point of view, phenomenology, bracketing out of the mind and the development of the mental activities, there are three levels of the mind in our body constitution. One is the sensual mind, another is the intellectual mind, and third is the intuitive mind. Which mind you want to be relinquished? Are they together or individually?
I like that.
Thank you.
I forget the Sanskrit terms for the three levels. That's what's really wonderful about Buddhism, that Western thought goes, that it has the the conditioned mind or it's sutapada, what is it? What we've heard, the knowledge that we've heard from somebody else. Yeah, then the thinking mind, that's about as far as Western thought goes, which is what we think for ourselves rather than what we just heard from somebody else, what we've been taught or conditioned by. And then it goes on to the bhavana, is bhavana, whatever, bhavana maya sanya. Yeah, so that's the wonderful thing about Buddhism. Well, Indian thought generally, I suppose, but it was an invention of the Buddha, I think, that kind of analysis of thinking, which means that we can go a lot further than what we can put together intellectually. We can get to the wisdom level rather than just the intellectual level. That's what you were referring to, yeah?
Let me share with you about Descartes. I think therefore I am. I think Descartes used this sentence as one of his the method of doubt. Yeah, the method that he said we can we should doubt everything allow us, but we cannot doubt about the existence of ourselves. When we think, when we are thinking, it must be something, the existence behind thinking, right? The self, our self behind our thinking. This is what Descartes why he used the sentence, I think therefore I am, to refer to the existence of self. This method is very similar to the method used by King Milinda in Milinda Panha. You know, the question of King Milinda. Yeah, very similar. The King Milinda asked Venerable Nakasena, do you hear me? Yes, I hear you. If you hear me, it means that there is yourself as the hearer of hearing, right? The hearer of hearing. It's very similar. But I think in Buddhism, I agree with your paper. In Buddhism, it's just the combination of many conditions. When we think, there is no thinker. It's just thinking. No thinker. It's just thinking. The thinking is just samadhi saja or conventional truth. Come from the combination of many conditions, many factors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for the interesting presentation, Dr. Jeff. And I'd like to invite Venerable Budi Utomo to present in the topic Sanghyang Kamahayanikan, Translation and Analytical Study. And thank you again, Dr. Jeff Wilson, for presentation in the topic Continental Philosophy and Buddhist Text.
Thank you. On the first, I would like to pay respect to พระมหาสมบูรณ์วุฒิการโรทร the Dean of Credit School มหาจุฬาลงกรณราชวิทยาลัย University, my teacher, and also my respect to all of the Sangha member, and my respect to the Assistant Professor Dr. Somwang Kyosufong from Chiang Mai University, all distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Namo Buddhaya. Now I would like to share and presenting about my work on research, that is Sangyang Kamahayanikan, translation and analytical study. Actually, this is my dissertation research in Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University to finishing my PhD study on Buddhist studies. In here, in introduction, I would like to show how the Sangyang Kamahayanikan is the text in Indonesia. Maybe nobody popular with this text. Even some of Western scholars who try to translate and study of this text. As you know, in the 1st until the 12th century are the golden age of Buddhism in Indonesia. I think this is on Mataram Kingdom until Sriwijaya and Majapahit Kingdom. And how many heritage, inscription and culture as well as a tradition that influenced by Buddhism. The transmission of esoteric Buddhist teaching to the archipelago and especially to Jawa in particular related to the Guhya Samaja tradition were already redacted and thriving in India in 5th to 6th century at the latest. Early on, De Kasparis, one of the scholars, ascribed the appearance of 11 gold plates engraved with the complete of the Pratitya Samutpada Sutra, the Vibhanga and the Upadesa to the missionary activity of Gunawarman, who disembarked in Java from his seaborne journey in the beginning of the 5th century. The old literary language of Java is commonly known as Bahasa Kawi, or that is the language of poetry. All this literature is based upon classical Sanskrit model, and the first is tentatively assigned to the Majapahit epoch or earlier, the second with the same caution to the 11th century. Sangyang Kamahayanikan is a Buddhist scripture in Sanskrit and commentary in Old Javanese language or Kawi. It is a treatise or perhaps extract from treatise on Mahayanis as understood in Java and presumably on the normal form of Mahayanis. So actually in the Sangyang Kamahayanikan is one literature who was found in Java, and then in palm leaf and read writing on the Balinese and Javanese character. The objective of the study is to examine the origin and historical development of Sangyang Kamahayanikan and to study the main concept of the Sangyang Kamahayanikan, and the third to analyze and criticize the version of Sangyang Kamahayanikan. The scope of the study is to analyze the Buddhist concept in the Javanese Sangyang Kamahayanikan. Research question: how to examine the origin and historical development of the Sangyang Kamahayanikan, what is the main concept of the Sangyang Kamahanikan and how to analyze and criticize the version of the Sangyang Kamahanikan. I think I come to the origin of the Sangyang Kamahanikan. The Sangyang Kamahanikan, as we know, as the Javanese literature, but based on the Sanskrit literature, that based on the scholar, in here have 3 versions of Sangyang Kamahanikan. I think this is based on when some scholar try to translate and what is it transliterate from Javanese alphabet into Romanized alphabet. This we simply name as version A, version B, and version C. And then generally SHK or Sangyang Kamahanikan consists of 2 sections. This is Sangyang Kamahayanan Mantranaya, the meaning the mantra system of Mahayana, and the second Sangyang Kamahayanan Atmaya Sadhana, the Mahayana method of attaining non-duality. The version A consists of 65 palm leaves as compared to the less complete version B, which has only 27 palm leaves. This is from the cuts in 1910 in his book of Sangyang Kamahanikan. Because of version A and B are composed of Buddhist teaching, they have been called the Buddha's version, while version C is called the Saiva versions, to its teaching which are mostly of Saiva origin. So actually, in Indonesia, the Sangyang Kamahanikan is the tantric scripture, and also in early period, the tantric scripture in Indonesia split into two mindset atau main view. That is in Buddhism and also in Saiva, or if in Thai is one, Brahmanism. That is the origin of Sangyang Kamahanikan. But from the version C, we can show how the Sangyang Kamahanikan was be composed during the king of Java, that's named Mcu Sindok, and the name of composer is Sri Sangwara Sambada. This, in historical dating, the Sangyang Kamahanikan version C can be dated as having been written late in the first half of the 10th century, because the name of Mcu Sindok of the Isana dynasty, if in Javanese name and Indonesian name is his kingdom is Singhasari kingdom, but this kingdom is the continuity of Mataram kingdom in Central Java. So this after Shailendra period, start Borobudur period in Java. This kingdom is in East Java. The Sangyang Kamahanikan was probably writing between 929 until 947 after Jesus by Mpu Sri Sambada Suryawarama from East Java, the successor of Mataram kingdom. In the introduction of the Sangyang Kamahanikan, to be found in only one manuscript of Sangyang Tantra Vajradhatu Subhuti, the colophon of the C version of Sangyang Kamahanikan. So actually, in the another name of the version C, that is Sangyang Tantra Vajradhatu Subhuti. Structure of the text. The text is restricted to teaching of the Mahayana school, focus on the tantric part of the Yogacara school, using mantranaya or the mantra methods. The text has been divided into two parts, Sangyaka Mahayana and Mantranaya. It consists of 42 Sanskrit strophes or verses, each with related commentary in elaborate or Javanese and regrouped under 11 subtopics and a conclusion. And the second, Sangyaka Mahayana Atwaya Sadhana, consists of instruction in 86 verse, writing mainly in the Old Javanese. With a few middle level Sanskrit reference, both texts belong to the same school and are connecting. The text is in question and answer form. This about the structure of the text. And then this is the translation or the version of translation of the Sangyaka Mahanikan. The first is by G. Katz, who interpret the Sangyaka Mahanikan in 1910, that published by Martinus Nitjoff of Holland. The Sangyaka Mahanikan, as published by Katz, consists of two parts of each form a spirit track. The first is further discussed by Speyer in his article that's about Sangyaka Mahayana and Mantranaya, and this first part consists of a connected series of Sanskrit strophe with a more or less elaborate Old Javanese commentary attached. And the second, Ida Bagus Sukriwa, who translating Sangyaka Mahanikan into Indonesian language in 1957 and publishing by Balimas Publisher. So, as you know, the palm leaf of Sangyaka Mahanikan was found for first time after Islamic come, after Majapahit period was falling down. It found in Lombok Island of Nusa Tenggara by G. Katz, who found this palm leaf, and after that he translated from transliteration from Javanese alphabet into Romanized, to Romanize that text. And Ida Bagus Sukriwa interpret Sangyaka Mahanikan and split it into 129 verse. He translate from Sanskrit and Javanese language to Indonesian. And then in 1979, Ministry of Religious Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, publishing this text with the title Kitab Suci Sangyaka Mahanikan, naskah terjemahan penjelasannya. It means this is the Sangyaka Mahanikan text, translate and explanation of the Sangyaka Mahanikan. This book composed by translator team of Sangyaka Mahanikan. In his book, content of three parts, that is introduction, text, and bibliography. This book also spirited the text into 129 verse. After that, the last Sumartinyana, this the last period in 2000, Sumartinyana translated and interpreted the text of Sangyaka Mahanikan with actual explanation on the practice of Tantric Buddhism. He numbered this text with two parts, 43 verse for part 1 and 86 verse for the second. And then the last, but before Sumartinyana, is Dhammakirti Sumunggakarso, who translated the text of Sangyaka Mahanikan into modern Javanese language. A composition of this text into Javanese prose and songs or mocopat. So actually, okay. So actually he composed on as a song of Javanese. Sorry. And then main concept of the Sangyaka Mahanikan is how to proceed with the ritual to attain enlightenment. After reading this text, the student would understand how to prepare them for ritual. Now, whom this ritual could be taught to the precautionary measures and can follow the step of instruction of mantra and yoga. This, I think, analysis of the text. Sangya Kamahani kan presenting the 4 steps. This Mahamarga on the great path, Parama Bodhi Marga, Paramarga, Mahakuya, and Paramakuya on the sprint text. And then Mahamarga described in Sangya Kamahan Mantranaya, and after that the next step, the 3 next step is in Sangya Kamahan Atwaya Sadhana as a practice. In here, we find many unusual concepts of or terms that immediately attract our attention, such as yoga and bhavana and dasa paramita. I think this because of a short time. So this Sangya Kamahani kan in other texts. Actually, after my research, I saw the text of Sangya Kamahani in other texts that clean this. And some text talk that is from Dang Acharya from Dignaga, Dang Acharya Sri Dignaga Pada, who live in India around 418 and 540 AD. Relationship between the Sangya Kamahanikan and esoteric Buddhist Sanskrit text. This and some text that is for Mahavairochana Bodhi Sutra, and then Atwaya Sutra, Sri Guhya Samaja Mandalaviti Sutra, and so on. Many of the texts related to Sangya Kamahanikan. And the conclusion, this text is restricted to the Mahayana school. And then when first I translating this text from Indonesian and Javanese language, but after that from my promoter or from my advisor tell me must translate to the real language, that is Sanskrit language. So I try to translate this from Sanskrit and then Javanese and Indonesian language. I think this is my work on research. Thank you for your attention.
Venerable Utomo from Indonesia is my PhD student. I am his supervisor also. I think you make clear about the historical development of Sangyang Kamaha Yananikan, right?
Yeah.
Or SHK. But I think you should analyze the main idea or main concept of Vajrayana Buddhism or Mantrayana in this text. I think according to this text, the basic concept or basic belief in this text that's based on Vajrayana Buddhism is the belief about that human nature, right? According to Mahayana Buddhism and Vajrayana Buddhism, Mahayana and Vajrayana have same idea, same teaching. Like they believe that human being has a potential to become Buddhahood, right?
Yeah.
To attain Buddhahood. This text show this idea.
Right.
But the difference between Mahayana and Vajrayana is that Mahayana, the way of Mahayana to Buddhahood is very long, right? Very long. You must practice perfection or paramita for many long time, many life. But according to Vajrayana has same basic idea. Vajrayana believe in human potential to become Buddhahood, to attain Buddhahood, and the final goal of Vajrayana and Mahayana is same. That is non-duality or Buddhahood. And the way, I think the way is different. Vajrayana believe that, claim that is this cover the way to Buddhahood, the quick way, the short way to Buddhahood, but that there is difference between Mahayana and Vajrayana. In this text, it's show. It's said about Maha Kuhaya, right? Maha Kuhaya, the great secret, right? The great secret of Parama Mak. Yeah. The supreme part. I think this is the main idea of this text. That's different from Mahayana in general. I think I would like you to analyze this point in detail. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate to you that you present the paper here. It reminds me that because of you, make this conference become real international conference of Buddhism. Like we have professor from Southern India, you from Chava, right? From
Javanese.
So it reminds me, maybe I will look at overview. It reminds me that during the Nalanda University in the previous, some Chavanese monk just study there too. That is the great event, right? And as I know, the great Lama, the great Tibetan monk also come to stay in the Shava for a long period. Right? So that is the great thing that and remind me that both Mahayana and Vajrayana just settled in Indonesia before it turned to Muslim country. Right? Okay, that is the great event that make us to think, and I appreciate you that you go in deep in some text. For example, that you do research on that paper. I just want to add the Venerable Sambun that the difference between the main concept between Mahayana and Vajrayana. Mahayana, the main, I mean the main thing is even in Bodhisattva, right? But we just think Bodhisattva they don't want to go to Nirvana because they want to be born again and again as much as. But Bodhisattva of tantric of this thing different. But they think that you can go to Nirvana in immediately, mean in this life. But on one condition, you trust in your teacher. Like that thing, I think the representative of that circuit come, maybe he can comment on this. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this in this Sangyaka Mahanikan, there's such as a guide for spiritual life in tantric Javanese tantric Buddhism. And when I read this book, I have it show the condition of Javanese Buddhism in last time. That some monk they use some fruit who as a pata or as a bowl for during the Borobudur period in this text. So this historically it show about the condition of Javanese Buddhism in Borobudur period, and also in this text step by step how to get spirituality based on the spiritual life as monkhood and also as karawasa or upasaka and upasika like this. Yeah, I think.
Okay, thank you so much, Venerable Buddhi Otomo, for the interesting presentation.
Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Venerable Sochit Cham to present in the topic the monk's duty in Khmer society, the living role and participation. And I think we are running out of time. And if you have more questions, you can ask directly to presenters after this.
May I respect to all venerable and good morning presenter. Let me show you all about the monk duty in Cambodian society. My name is Venerable Chim Sachit. I am Director of Buddhist Social Development in Cambodia. Now let me show you about Buddhism in Cambodia. Theravada Buddhism has existed in Cambodia since at least the 5th century. It has been the Cambodian state religion since the 15th century and is currently estimated to be the faith of 96% of population. Buddhist monks in Cambodia traditionally were called upon to perform a number of functions in Cambodian life from past up to now. The monks traditionally occupy a unique position in transmission of Khmer culture and value. Okay, thank you. Yes. In the recent year, most Cambodian monks have joined the politics for calling for justice, for peace and happiness of people. Cambodian monks not only lead the religious activities such as ceremony, but also play an important role to demonstrate the happy way to people and bring harmony and peace for society as well as the country. Therefore, monks have a major function for Cambodian life. The lives of monks in Cambodia. I have 5 steps to show you about the life of monks in my country. First, Cambodia is a good place for become a Buddhist monk. How can they become a Buddhist monk? In Cambodia, most of people they can become a monk from 5 or 7 or 10 years for study about the Buddhism. Like my organization always have ordination for 1 year, 1 time. Up to now, we have ordination 2 times already. But for on 27 April until 5 May in this year, we will have an ordination at Kandahar Province too, that we can get the lay people or the laymen around 500 people to join this ceremony also. And second, many lay people join monkhood by their tradition and belief and support their relative to become a novice or monk in the countryside, city and around the country. Third, Buddhist monk mean to join the Buddhist community. Why the Buddhist monk in Cambodia join the Buddhist community? First, want to study about the Buddhism, yeah, and when they get the knowledge of the Buddha teaching, we can take those sermons to give the humanitarian or humanity in the community. And the monk in Cambodia also go to join the social service to develop our people idea for our country. And four, one can become a monk for 1, 2 or 3 or 7 days when their own relative die. In my country, when the people, relative like mom, father, daughter, sister or nephew, they die, always have 1 or 2 boys to become a monk for grateful to their parents. And the fifth, monks share their resource, their habit, their practice, and their personality in monastic life. And let me show about the role of Cambodian monk. After they become a monk, we must to have a role for develop our country. I have 10 points. First, the monks still have play important role in Cambodian society. You know, in Cambodia, the monk is very important for us to develop our country. And second, the monk is, sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Second, the monk is public individual and cornerstone for people. Third, the monk have to take care the temple by constructing of the building, cleaning, protecting, and all things belong to Sangha in the temple. This our obligation to build. When the temple were old or broken, the chief of monk in the pagoda must be rebuilt again. And four, the monk has the duty to protect and develop in order to make the pleasant temple. The temple is very important for us, yes. And fifth, there are many various kinds of the role and duty of Khmer monks, such as the monk have to take care of temple and make as a Rama. And sixth, duty of Cambodian monk, they have to take care of Khmer tradition and Buddhist tradition. What is Buddhist tradition? We know that the Buddha always teaches us 45 years old about the knowledge that he find for people. In the morning, the Buddha go to collecting food, but just only collecting food or for what? Actually, not just only the collecting food, but to find or to be understand about the situation of Buddhist people. To understand for what? To understand and then take all of the problem of people to meet to discuss with people or monks to find any good idea to solve the problem. And in the afternoon, the Buddha meeting with the people. Meet for what? Meet to be explain about the problem and find a good piece for their idea. And the evening, the Buddha always meeting with people, yeah. And for the middle night, meeting the higher or meeting with the manager, like the prime minister, like the kings. Meet for what? Meet for discuss, for give a good advice to be a good leader. Yeah. Oh, it's on time, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I will be finished. And 7. The Cambodian monks are pattern of good conduct and morality for Cambodian people. Each monk acts as the teacher's morality. Like me, like Venerable Ratnaka, we always go to the countryside, go to the school, go to the community for teach the morality to the Cambodian people, to poor people, or to build a new house for poor people in my country. This is the action of Cambodian monks to share anything to our people. And 9, monks have to give them a good advice and the some sermon, yeah, okay. Some sermon and the teaching of Dhamma in temple or school. And 10, the monk role is to assist the mind of people and develop the harmony. And the final is the duty of monk in helping to solve political crisis in the harmony. I have 6 steps to show you a little bit. Cambodian monks are pattern of Khmer life. While most Khmer follow the Theravada Buddhism, and religion has been a source of guidance and national identity, political engagement has taken on different forms throughout the country's troubled history. And 2, in Cambodia, the monks are important refugees of mental thinking by leading the calm and happiness of mind. And 3, the monks are the leader of doing goodness and teaching the wrong and the right way to the people. And 4, sometimes the monk lead to find justice for people in village or community when they get injustice. And 5, the monk live with happiness, pain, and suffering of the people. Men, they think when people are happy, they will be happy, but when people are pain, difficulty, and suffer, they will be suffer too. And looking at the join to uphold the right of Khmer monk, they join to choose the leader in recent election. But the past time cannot to choose like that. But now we can. Yes, and conclusion, thus, Cambodian monks perform many of functions in Khmer society, such as they are often healer, the practitioner, and modern scientists. They take care and transmit of Khmer culture and value. Otherwise, they provide a living model of most meritorious behavior and many opportunities for gaining merit to people, and they help to solve the political situation and crisis in the country. Therefore, the Cambodian monks have many kinds of role and duty in leading, teachings, and demonstrate the heavenly and happy way to people. Thank you for paying attention.
very short comment because now time is going to going to run out. I have my comment is because your paper and I see the detailed PhD candidate from Department of Philosophy. Because of that, I think what you should add. Paper is okay, but paper is just tell story, what there happened in actual report, right? But what I want to add is what is the background of that phenomena? You tell phenomena. I want to hear why monk should, because here it can be interpreted as the ethics. Whatever you tell, you report in your paper, it is ethics. But what about ethics? It needs metaphysics, something just behind that. That is my comment.
Sorry, I cannot understand about your question. May I? It's very difficult for me to listen, but may I invite Mr. Chamran Koi translate for me, please? Yeah. No question.
Maybe you can.
Venerable Latanak, right?
Associate.
Oh, associate. Your topic is very good.
Thank you.
But if possible, I think it's quite very big topic. You want to study monk duty in Khmer society. If possible, I would like you to narrow down or to specify where Khmer society you study, where. Yeah, yes, it's quite very big, very large topic.
Yes.
And if possible, I would like you to collect the data about the monk duty or the monk role in the present Khmer society or Cambodian society in the present day. You should collect the data about the situation, right? The situation of the monk role in the present society, how they play the role in changing society, Cambodian society nowadays. Okay, I agree with you. The main duty of monk in Buddhism, right? There are two types of duty. That is textual study and meditation practice. It is the duty taught by the Buddha as appear in commentary, right? Atthakatha, right?
Yeah.
But we would like to know what is the Cambodian monk duty nowadays in the present society. Same as taught by the Buddha or develop or change from the main duty taught by the Buddha. I would like to know the fresh data, right? The present data, and you should narrow down where Cambodian society, I think not allow the country, right?
Yes.
Where, what community, what village, what
you want
city,
to know about the name of village or community?
Yeah. Thank
but
you
for
very
the
much.
monk, yeah, in Cambodia, we have a lot of action especially the role of the monk. We can join to solve the problem with the government or with the provincial by share Buddhist idea to solve all the problem. Like we always join to the community to be explanation them about the wrong judgment, for wrong judgment. The first taking side because of love, taking side because of fear, taking life because of weakness or hate or ignorance. In Cambodia, the monk very important for develop our country. So we must to take the Buddhist teaching. We can take the or we can teach the people about the meditation to be concentration and can stand with ourselves to solve the problem. We want to be independent in ourselves first, yes, and then we can take or promote the purify of our mind to other people. Yes, thank you.
Venerable, thank you very much for your presentation. I have a short question and I'm speaking very fast because we are running out of time. My question is, you said at the end of your paper, you said that monks can take part in politics. So I would like to know in what sense, is it like monks can form political parties like in Sri Lanka, or is it just monks started to vote, cast their vote? So at what level monks can take a role in politics directly?
Yes, thank you for your question. Good question. In this case, I mean the monk cannot have a party, but can join with the action in our society. Yes, only join with the action with politics to find a peace, find a justice for our people, not open the party. Thank you. Okay.
No more questions. Thank you, Venerable Sochecham, for the presentation in the topic, the monk's duty in Khmer society. I'd like to invite Dr. Rana to present in the topic, socially engaged Buddhism, ASEAN's invaluable legacy to the world's civilization.
Respected Chairman, Bhikkhu Sangha, Dr. Neeraj, Dr. Dipti, I'm thankful to the organizers of the conference providing me opportunity to meet all of you. Today, the topic of my paper is Socially Engaged Buddhism, ASEAN's Invaluable Legacy to the World Civilization. As we know very well that now in modern world, Buddhism has to play very important role. Asia is the present of the world. The present world belongs to Asia. In the same way, Buddhism is the religion of the time. You know on the name of religion, the countries like Syria, Iraq, and many other parts of the world are facing a lot of problem, a lot of crisis, human crisis. In the same way, because of consumerism, each and every family of the world is facing crisis somehow or the others. So, the Buddhist economics, the Buddhist way of life, the Buddhist way of thinking has alternative to the present system, to the present world order. Now, the new face of Buddhism emerged in ASEAN countries, in ASEAN region, is socially engaged Buddhism. Buddhism, from the date of its inception, the date of its introduction, it is socially engaged because the Buddha himself invited the monks, Charatha Bhikkhave Charikang, Bahujan Hitaya, Bahujan Sukhaya, Lokanukampaya, Hitaya, Athaya, Hitaya, Sukhaya, Dev Manushyanang. This is the socially engaged Buddhism from its beginning. So, I have paid attention the socially engaged characteristics of Buddhism, how Buddhism took shape, the new paradigm, the new thinking process, so that the society can be free from all kind of sufferings. During the course of his first sermon delivered at Sarnath following his enlightenment, which was subsequently referred to by the Pali scriptures and canonical texts as Dhammacakkappavattana, the Buddha categorically assigned monks the great task of moving in the society and reaching out to people for their well-being. In his own lifetime and after Mahaparinibban, his humongous task was realized to be the measure of perfection and poised by Theraj and Mahatheraj. The Saddham, as it was usually called, in its systematized form and essence, was spread in the Indian society first and then in different parts of the world known to the followers of the Buddha. The quiet essence of it is defined by Buddhism as firm opposition and resistance against all wrong perceptions, malpractices and retrograde views. Thus, it can be stated without an iota of doubt that Buddhism has been socially engaged in its nature ever since its birth. Its new face emerged before the world when Vietnam was torn by war with the United States of America. The war left the economy of Vietnam in shambles and threw the country into trap of indigence and destruction to a reasonable extent. It was in those moments of deep crisis that the new form of Buddhism arose in Vietnam and mesmerized the world, setting the unique example of a spiritual system that was veritably capable of donning a protector's role to save the society. The concept has been acclaimed and appreciated worldwide and has motivated a number of countries and their people to put it in practice. Throughout Europe and America, this form of Buddhism has been adopted on a massive scale for its sheer ability to do away with the faulty social, national and international structure and reconstruct the new world order as non-violent, non-exploitative and non-suffering by nature. This can thus be regarded as ASEAN region's priceless legacy to the world with immense potential to liberate West Asia, Arab and Africa from the clutches of violence and starvation. Now the question arises to what were the concepts and scriptural elements that motivated Thich Nhat Hanh to coin this term and launch a widespread initiative to connect the esoteric practice of Buddhism with society and social well-being. In one of his interviews, he stated, when bombs begin to fall on people, you cannot stay in meditation hall. You cannot stay in meditation hall all the time. Meditation is about the awareness of what is going on, not only in your body and your feeling, but all around you. And further added, when I was a novice in Vietnam, we young monks witnessed the suffering caused by the war. So, he gave new life to the society of Vietnam, and just he tried to shape, just he tried to give the new dimension to new thought process to the society of Vietnam. Certain, the middle path, the dependent origination, these are the things on the basis of which socially engaged Buddhism emerged. And because dependent origination says that each and every element of society is dependent on each and other. One cannot avoid, one cannot eliminate even a single element of society. Without a single element, the society cannot run. Thus, we can be stated that being socially engaged, not new Buddhism, what is new is the way Buddhist leaders are engaging each other and are being engaged. According to some Buddhist scholars, Buddhism viewed historically may first have begun as an escape from the world, but subsequently it turned into a revisioning and re-engagement in the world when one experiences it with fresh eyes. Since emergence of new form Buddhism in 1963, some striking features have become evident in its fabric, paradigm, and overall dynamics. Now the term engaged Buddhism suggests a bigger and far more broad-based social movement. Drawing on the traditional ethical and social teaching of Buddhism, engaged Buddhism now intend to apply them to social life as well as to social issue, thereby engaging them for social good. The vision to philosophize Buddhism underwent changes to some extent in 20th century. What is uniquely novel in case of socially concerned lot of contemporary Buddhists is their keenness to adopt many new methods and styles, indicating that their vision is more international in scope and that they are more educated in their training, more democratic and gender inclusive in their organizations, more aware of ecological destruction, more innovative institutionally and technologically, and more concerned them ever to move society towards non-violence, justice, truthfulness and peace. Attributed to Thich Nhat Hanh during 1980s and 90s, several other personages have also been associated with movement. The most internationally visible leaders of this movement are Dalai Lama, His Holiness Dalai Lama, Inhang Yen, Sulak Sivraksh, T. Arya Ratne, John Mackey, Kenneth Kraft, Reverend Yanishwara, and Satyanarayan Goenka in India. All agrees that for Buddhism, the act an effective instrument for systematic institutional change. Traditional Buddhist emphasis on individual moral and spiritual transformation must be adjusted to address the structure of oppression, exploitation and environmental degradation more forcefully, while preserving the unique Buddhist emphasis on the practice of mindful awareness and lifestyle of simplicity. Though these new Buddhist activities represent a radical departure from some earlier form of Buddhist practices, their meaning cannot be understood just the contrast with the latter. Nevertheless, it has been historically that the new form of socially engaged Buddhism could not have been arisen in traditional cultures unless those cultures were intrinsically oriented towards adopting positive and productive change. Thus, there is a broad agreement among the scholars regarding the assumption that Buddhism could change because the change of cultural context where it is adopted. So, I am time and again I am reminded, because of the paucity of time, So friends, 2 minutes I would take. The socially engaged Buddhism, as the gift of ASEAN, more than half of the world is suffering from different kind of violence, occasionally sponsored by government or created by terrorist outfit. This is an unending process. One can it be controlled by a spread of right view or right education. The whole world is suffering or about to suffer because of wrong perceptions. We have wrong perceptions of identity, religion and service to the world and God. The Western sciences, which are the product of industrial revolution, are empirical in nature, have created a lot of problem in the world. The Western consumerist theories have proved to be perilous for the human civilization. Their tool for advancement have dominated the Western anthropocentric, ethical and contentment-based theorization and tool of development. So, this is the contribution of ASEAN. Actually, in modern economic theorization, consumer world, industrial revolution, because of that we are suffering. We are the person-centric, not society-centric, not the country-centric. So, because of these wrong theories, for example, I can raise one thing, neo-evolutionism theory of neo-evolutionism. They say as much as energy you are consuming, it means you are advanced, your society is advanced. But nowadays, this is the time you have to change the notion. As less as you consume the energy, you are advanced, you are mentally advanced, and then you can save the earth, Mother Earth. At the other point, the consumer thing, the whole world is wasting more and more energy, more and more resources. But we have to save the resource for those who have not the proper means to live in the world. So what Buddhism says? The Buddhist ecology is based on compassion, based on need of the time, based on dependent origination. In the same way, the Buddhist economics and management is not profit oriented, but satisfaction oriented. As a result, we have gross national happiness concept in Bhutan. Bhutan is very small country, but its contribution as the gross national happiness is immense in the world. This is a new idea, this is a reflection of Buddhism. On the other hand, the social order created by Buddhism, there is no capitalist thinking, capitalist way of life. In Buddhism, sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. We have to look after each and every sabbe pana sabbe bhuta samsama. All the beings in the world are equal. And yatha mata niyang puttang ayusa ek putt manu rakhe. We have to act for each and every being of the world as the mother keeps, mother protects, like a single child, like a lone son. We have to protect each and every creature of the world like our own son, like our own family member. What is happening in Syria? What is happening in Iraq? What is happening in other parts of Africa? They are actually, in actual sense, they are innocent people. They have misinterpreted the religion. They have misinterpreted the existence of God. They have misinterpreted the society. That is why they are fighting with each other. When the lore of Buddhism, when the teachings of Buddha will go to the society like Syria and Iraq, when ASEAN will try to expand its legacy to Syria, Iran, Iraq and African countries, then the violence will certainly remove and the society will be welfare society. This is the message of ASEAN to the whole world, and because of this, the Buddhism is the world religion, Buddhism is the future religion. Thank you.
Dr. Rana, who stand at the top of mountain, so he can see overview, who can see the whole world. Okay, by your paper, right? Your paper look at the whole picture of the world by the by the one instrument. From the, as I say that, from the top, from the thinking, as the fundamental thinking of Buddhism is the Paticcasamuppada, on thing is based on each other, right? Then you see the problem of the world by keyword is the engagement. Buddhist engagement can be translated as the as I remember, what is the duty of the Buddhist? The Buddhists have two duty. One Buddhist have two duty. The first one, study and understand the Buddha teaching by yourself. The second one, give or spread or teach what you have learned to the other people. That is the, I look at your paper by the philosophical viewpoint point of view. Thank you.
Dr. Rana, thank you very much for your presentation. As you know, there are two groups of scholars about socially engaged Buddhism. There is modernist and traditionalist. The first group believe that the present socially engaged Buddhism is not the is not in the Buddha time. It's just the idea or interpretation at that in all Buddhism, right? Is and the traditionalists believe that socially engaged Buddhism exists in the Buddha time, taught by the Buddha. Like Richard Cambridge, he believed that no socially engaged Buddhism in the present society in the Buddha time. It's just a new interpretation, like interpreted by Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar in India. As you know, some scholars argue that Buddhism teaches people to renounce the world. Like the Pali word nekhamma, right? Nekhamma means renunciation of the world. But I agree with you. I think Buddhism must be engaged. But the question is how to engage. According to the Dalai Lama idea, He said Buddhism Buddhism has a universal responsibility or universal love or altruistic mind. If we want to engage with society, we have to develop altruistic mind or universal responsibility based on the teaching of Paticcasamuppada or Brahmavihara, right? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Ubekha. That is, I think I disagree with modernist scholar like Richard Combrich or Mac Muller, German scholar Mac Muller. He said that Buddhism is individualistic, right? But I think Buddhism is socially engaged. Buddhism is not new. It's not new one, but it has a foundation, right? A fundamental idea in the early Buddhism taught by the Buddha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ranab.
Actually, 2 minutes I would like to respond on his comment. You have quoted the Dalai Lama. Actually, Buddhism has 3 steps: Pariyatti, Patipatti and Pativedhan. Pariyatti, you have to go through the scriptures. Patipatti, you have to practice, and Pativedhan, the realization. And the Dalai Lama says that for some time you have to maintain seclusion. You try to be secluded from the society, but when you have a strength, mental strength and confidence, then you can go to the society for the social engagements. In Western scholarships, in Western academia, many people have written on socially engaged Buddhism. Christopher Quinn, King, many scholars, they have written. And now the new phase of Buddhism is getting popular in almost all corners of the world, except certain violent torn areas of the world in West Asia. We have not played very important role, and we have to play very important role to contain the violence, to spread the peace of message of the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rana, to present about socially engaged Buddhism in ASEAN, invaluable legacy to the world civilization. And I'd like to invite Mr. Sihan Kanishka Arya Singh to present in the topic, study of developing the society through meditation.
Venerable Sangha and my dear scholars, my presentation and my research is about study of developing the society through meditation. I think I am not the expert to talk this topic, but I am presenting here what I am studying. I think we can share valuable points to each other and what is ongoing concept and aspects in the current world on the meditation and developing society. So is it possible? The first question is is it possible to developing the society through meditation? Let's see. Okay, according to the World Economic Forum surveys, recently they handled, they are the most big issues in the world: poverty, religious conflicts, large-scale conflicts, climate change, government accountability, food and water security, poverty, lack of education, like that. So, can we solve these issues through the meditation? Let's see, we can go through my presentation. So, first, we have to identify why those issues are arising daily. This is the reason normally. What Buddha said actually, the greed and anger and delusion. So thing is, people don't know and people can't understand what is the stage now we are passing. I mean, there are 3 stages, there are 3 steps. For example, if I have a chocolate, now you are dragging my chocolate, then I get hurt, angry mood. Why it's happening? Because at this moment we are in the anger, second stage, but automatically we are going to that second stage because of we are attaching from our 5 elements, especially our eye, maybe our ear, and our mind, our taste. We are attaching to the chocolate. That's why we are get angry. So then I'm going to slap or hit or something bad action. We are automatically fall into the 3rd stage, moha. That's why people don't know which stage I am passing now. Lobha or dosa or moha. That's why these issues are happening daily. People don't aware about that. So we have to be a conscious mind to understand what we are passing, especially in our mind. So meditation. There are a lot of definitions, very huge and complex definition also for the meditation, but in simply we can derive like this: look inside yourself. So normally in meditation we are in the middle way of attention and the relaxation. That's why I am putting here this line. Meditation line is not the too much relaxation. When we are doing meditation, if we get too much relaxation, then we are getting sleep. If we are too much attention, then we are getting stress. So when we are in the attention, we normally emit beta waves. And when we do the meditation, we normally emit theta waves from our body. When we are too much relaxation, we normally emit delta waves. So this is the normal description about the meditation. Then I like to give a very simple video about understanding the meditation. Let's see. I think this gives a whole idea about the meditation. I think you got it. It's not about the fighting with the thoughts, it's about the patience with our wandering thoughts. So, let's move to the presentation. Okay, why we do meditation then? In simply, to be mindful. Because meditation align with the mindfulness. What is the mindfulness? Normally people in the world, they are totally mindful like this. This is mindful. But we are talking about the mindfulness. So if we really mindful, we should be at the current moment, at this second. That's why even our body is present, we have to check whether our mind is present or future or past. That's why this person is actually mindful. She sees the sun and trees and the current world, reality. This person has a lot of ton of problems, issues and thinking about at this moment. It's mean not mindfulness. That's why if we can maintain our mind at the current moment, at the current second, it's mean we are mindful. So now we are moving to the what Buddha said about this, about the relationship with meditation and mindfulness. There are two main Buddhist theories I'm explaining to you in simply. Threefold training, Sila, Samadhi, Prajna, virtue, mind and wisdom. And also Buddha explained about Noble Eightfold. It's about the right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort and right mindfulness with right concentration. So in simply, we can derive this all concept into two words in the Buddhism. Buddha said, if we can tell about Buddhism in two words, these are the two words, Sati and Sampajana. It's about the concentration and the wisdom. So in these Noble Eightfold also, we can short out into this path, like virtue, mind and wisdom, like we earlier discussed. It means the correct action, right livelihood and speech is about our body, not our mind. If we can control our body first, then we can move to our mind. But we can't go to control our mind without controlling our body. That's why we have to focus on our first step, especially controlling our body and speech. Then if we need to go to or achieve wisdom, then we have to control our mind. It means right effort, mindfulness and concentration. Then we can see the reality, we can see the view and right attention. That's why if we really need to go to wisdom, we have to focus on the mindfulness. So in the society, we have to do this, we have to implement like this, because society, if we can promote the meditation, then society can habit changing in an effective way. Then we can develop the mindfulness. If not, if we are missing mindfulness daily, then social issues arise. So Buddha said about these are the four main factors we have to consider: the mental well-being, physical well-being, social responsibility and economic responsibility. So those physical and social, even economic responsibility can be controlled by developing our mental well-being. That's a secret, what Buddha said. In my research data, I found a lot of celebrities in the world, they are practicing meditation. For example, Oprah Winfrey is a American media proprietor and talk about host and actress producer. Henry Ford, founder of the Ford company. Jet Li, they are practicing meditation. And also Angelina Jolie, these type of very famous guys. And Jennifer Aniston, Kobe Bryant, like this. You know, the Zuckerberg also practicing meditation. I have 2 minutes more. Yes, and Steve Jobs and Richard Branson, founder of the Virgin Group. You can see this picture is the meditation room of the Facebook. And there are ton of benefits to the meditation, reducing stress, especially control sugar and cholesterol, because we can overcome sugar and cholesterol by reducing the stress hormone. It means cortisol is the hormone that affected the cholesterol and sugar. And we can enhance our creativity. That's why role models are doing meditation. They can create, they can enhance their creativity. So when you search in Google, if you type meditation benefits, you can find out 82 million results. Now current world is talking about the meditation and benefits. And there are 50 more universities in the world. They separately built meditation rooms in their university. Every Google employee should do meditation because of these three reasons: emotional intelligence, resilience, and focus. That's a must. And Canada Police now last year started do the meditation since 2017. And British Parliament also stopped to meditation. These are the new habits of the world. So if we really can change the climate, yes, it is. Because most of journals says, even that's conferences of the climate change, they agree if we really control our mind with visualization, with using visualization, we can change the world in two aspects. Because one is if we can build mindful habits, and also if we can build our mind set up by seeing the good world, we can change the climate also. So this is Dr. Masaru Emoto's Emoto's experiments. This experiments for the water, then water structure will be different when we are using different words. When we say love, 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 the water structure like this. When we say thank you, water will be like this. When I hate you, when we say water will be like this. This means it's clearly said our water also will be, their structure will be different when we are putting any words from our mouth. Because we have to understand in our body between 85 to 78% is the water. So that's why we have to think what speech, what words we are putting daily. Because our action and words come through the thoughts. Thoughts come through the mind. If we can purify the mind, that's the tool is the meditation. For a recent study, 80% of violence crime was reduced when 4,000 people meditate together in DC in 1993 experiment actually. So we can reduce those issues, I think, through the meditation. Thank you very much.
I appreciate to you as the young generation scholar. When I look at, when I saw you, I just think of the most great scholar of Sri Lanka, like Chayatilike, Malala Sekela. I hope that you also will follow that way in, from now on up to I hope that you will develop your Buddhist scholar in Buddhist as much as you can, and with your own effort. The topic is very interesting and respond to contemporary society, and you show your paper in the right time, in the right place, right? That is a part of appreciation. But when we look at the topic, as I still remember, the one Indian scholar just said that for the Buddhist study, we have three parts, right? Morality, meditation, and wisdom, and that is the way that we go. But anyway, you just show only part of meditation, and please remember that when the Prince Siddhartha, why he decided to change from two great teacher, meditation teacher, Alalaka and Uttaka, right? because anyway that meditation is good, but at that time he decided that it not yet bring him to go to a liberation to nirvana. Then he changed, because that is the important point. Because meditation we can have the one term, adjective term in front of meditation, maybe right meditation. Right meditation is is in the part of the Eightfold Noble Path, but maybe can have wrong meditation too, right? If you use, if that meditation is not go for therefore the Prince Siddhartha decide to let that and that thing. And one thing in Buddhism, we have to think that if the Prince Siddhartha not have new creation, he will never ever be the founder of the Buddhism. What is he found? The first is the insight meditation. And what is the reason of insight meditation? That is anatta. That is the new thing in that new creation in Buddhism. So that is and when I saw your presentation, I think just everything just comes from our mind, because that picture is just his thinking, and I love that to my phone and my phone, right? I think that picture, if we read carefully, we can get not I would like to say not enlightenment, but we can get the point and bring that to practice. Okay, that is my commented.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Srihan, for your very interesting presentation, and it was very nice. You showed the video and all, very interesting and very energetic, and I see great hope when the younger generation of Sri Lanka taking interest in meditation. You also remind me of Somaratane, the great lay practitioner, meditation practitioner of Sri Lanka, Somaratane. So I'm not talking anything critical, but just a small comment, like in Sri Lanka, you have lots of problem these days created by politics and all. Recently, there was some problem in Kandy, the most holiest place for Buddhists. So how do you solve those ethnic problems or those inter-religious problems through the use of meditation? So I would give it to you as a challenge, because you're a younger generation taking meditation to all the people in Sri Lanka, if possible. Not just with the Buddhists. Thank you very much. I really liked it.
Thank you, appreciation, and I love to answer that question, because in Sri Lanka, people love deeply in heart for the Buddhism. They love Buddhism. They love to protect the Buddhism, but unfortunately, very small amount of people following the Buddhism. There are two aspects, because especially in the youth generation, we talk about Sri Lankan is the 4th rank in the world's youth suicide. That's why, because people are not going to follow, be conscious, but they are talking about meditation, Buddhism and meditation. If you ask any question in the Sri Lankan audience, they are very keen, very knowledgeable about Buddhism, Pali and other knowledge. But we have to understand knowledge is the separate thing. Intelligence is another separate thing. Wisdom is another thing. Buddha talk about not about the information. Buddha didn't talk about the intelligence. Buddha talk about the wisdom. What is the difference between wisdom and intelligence? Intelligence like expert in other things, like engineer, doctor, professor, intelligence, expert in other. But wisdom is talk about the expert in ourselves. That's why we have to practice. That's why, for example, Sunita Sopaka in the history, they can't read, they are not educated people, but they got nirvana, enlightenment. It's mean Buddhism, it's about knowing ourselves, studying ourselves. It's not relevant to any other information, any other data. We have to practice. The practice is the problem.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sihan. And I'd like to invite Mr. Chamron Key to present about the Buddhist Chamron Khoi. sorry, to present about Buddhist positive parenting in Cambodia.
Yes, thank you for opportunity for me to talk about Buddhist parenting in Cambodia. On behalf of lay Buddhist Cambodians, before I have become the monk, and now I become the layman. So my principle is to contextualize the Buddhist Buddha doctrine, or yes, Buddha doctrine to contextualize and apply for daily life. But before starting to the topics, I would like to respond to the commentators, the Venerable and doctors, that comment for Venerable James Chit, and I would like to reclaim. Why is not the fresh data of the number or percentage of Buddhist monks who play a key role in Buddhism in Cambodian? Yes, it is not have the data analysis or data survey, but it have appearance in all documents in Cambodia, well known. If you ask the Buddhist, lay Buddhist in Cambodia, they can reply to you, and you can. I think that I suggest you to access the reference in attachment in the script. Yes, thank you. For the topic, for me is Buddhist parenting in Cambodia. Yeah, this is my wife and the child. So it is the parents in Cambodia. Just so that. Okay. Yes, Cambodia is democratic, rely on constitution. The population is 15.8 million, and 96% is Buddhist. And Buddhism in Cambodia is Theravada Buddhism. What is parenting in Cambodia? This is the approach that we just take out from our team about the parenting concept. Yes, Buddhist parenting, it means the parent approach with the peacefully acts, speech, emotion, focus on long-term goal for the children to be grow up with morality and self-living with adoption of reality of life, for reality happiness and deliverance from sufferings. Okay, this is the Buddhist concept. But for the nation concept or the Cambodian concept on the strategy, they show that the positive parenting is a parent approach without any form of violence, inclusion of neglect instead of setting up long-term goal, limitation, understanding and thinking, feeling, also problem solving. This is the concept of strategic in Cambodia and have been approved already by Ministry of Women Affairs and endorsement by the Cambodia government. Yeah. So it have the middle circle we call component. So have five component, and the second have the second we call principle. So in parenting, have a long-term goal, problem solving, understanding children's thinking and feelings, and how to provide warmth, how to provide a structure and long-term goal. And the strategy focus on five areas, yes, based on UN United Convention on the Right of the Child, non-violent, and focus on solution, respectful and principle of child development. This is the concept. If the commentator asks me what is the percentage or the survey of this idea is of the presentation, maybe have no yet, because it is my innovation, and it have well known about the Cambodian Buddhists that always the parents in Cambodia well known about the Brahma Vihara, well known. Everybody know about Brahma Vihara Dhamma. Yeah. So it have a little bit time to talk, but I just give you a capture, a big part, yeah, but just a main principle. Okay. So in Buddhism, the first circle we call component as well. So the component of parenting in Cambodia, the one is setting the future goal for children, yeah, and two, the Brahma Vihara, it means all parents have love, empathy, empathetic joys, and equanimity. And the parent should have the skill of parenting in Malay language we call 7 of Saporesa Dhamma. So it means the skill that the parents should understand themselves, should knowing how benefit for children like this. And to ensuring the parents treat the children fairly, should focus on the fairly judgment without fault of akate dhamma. Yeah, it means the wrong judgment. And the second cycle we call the principle. Yeah, principle, it means the parents should accountable and perform each role member in the family. The Buddha have taught us already in the Sutta we call Sankela Sutta. The Buddha teaching the role of the person in the family. Yeah, and two, the pickful of acts, speech and mind, it means not violence. And the 4 and 3 guide the children with the resilient the reality of life. It means loga dhamma. It means what the reality lies that the children will be faced, will be confronted, and how to adopt. Yeah. And the 4th is understanding the principle of parenting. It means vinaya. It means the parents should treat the children or teach the children the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts or pancha sila. The third we call strategy. Yeah, the strategy. The first it is keeping mind with the Buddha last word. The Buddha last word always remind us that don't be careless, but keep to try to achieve your goal. And to guide the way to success, it means the 4 ways of success, or we can call Adibada Dhamma. Yeah, Adibada Dhamma. And 4 is, okay, the 4 is the guide and motivation, the right way of happiness. The Buddha have taught us about the Mangala Sutta, it means the way to happiness. And the last is the prevention preventing from the high risk or harmful way, or we can, or Buddha teach us in the Parabhava Sutta. Okay. I think it is a bit time, just only the concept, but it's new innovation that our team will be set out the strategy to implement these projects in Cambodia toward ending violence against children. Okay, thank you. This is a gift for the monk, not for everyone, because it is a robe for the monk. It is my wife and my daughter. Yes, thank you for your pay attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chamran. I think we are running out of time, so the commentator will give the comment for you after the last presentation.
Okay.
So I'd like to invite Tuku Topkyu to go to present in the topic interdependent origination of volunteerism and sustainable social development.
Yes.
This one? Yeah, upper one. The upper one, not this one. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Firstly, I want to say good afternoon. And today I like to presentation about the independent organization of the volunteerism in the sustainable social development. So it is a kind of philosopher way. So in the Dharma wars and Tibetan were saying that it is a tandil, means it is a interconnection and interrelation. Interrelation, interdependence, and or interdependent factors. So just I like to share that in our life all are dependent. Just I'm here, I'm giving the interdependent, but mainly which is I want to mention, that is the dependent. All we people are dependent. to each other. Example like in the factory, there is car. It is all dependent. It is can't be moved only by car self. It is have to be there, diverse, and even in the new begin, it is have to be so many things, so many items have to be there, cause and effect. So especially need the human who is creating the car like a mechanic. So something like that, we are all dependent. All are dependent. They are only independent, giving the words, giving the name independent. I am an independent. But we are all are dependent. Like we all are dependent on our parents. Parents also some dependent on parents. So that's why we all are dependent. Even the thing, even I'm here because I'm depending on Dr. Neeraj and all things. So because of those, so I'm here. And so that's why I'm saying all are dependent with each other. So that's why we Buddhism like to proud that we have that power, and we not only we Buddhism, we all sentient beings should think that all dependence on each other. Because of beggar, we are rich. Rich and beggar, so we are middle. So that's why all are dependent each other. If they are not rich, then how can call we? That is the poor. That is the beggar. If there are no beggar, then how can we call that is rich and that is the middle? We can't say anything if they are not dependent. So independent itself also like dependent on dependent. Dependent is there, that's why they are independent. Just like that. So I want to make a little short because our time is really limited. So I don't want to waste the precious time. And which is I want to mention in the Buddhism text says there is the 12 connections. That is the 1, ignorance, 2, mental formations, 3, consciousness, and name, and 4, name and form, 5, source of the perception, 6, sense media, and 6, contact, 7, feeling sensation, and 8, craving, 9, grasping, 10, existence, and 11, birth, and 12, aging and death. Why we are in the Buddhism, why we are making the keeping the birth and death together? Because we are birth and death is there are no who we can't say who is earlier, which is came in the earlier death or birth. We are saying just it is the birth, but if we think in the real, it is the death. When we born, after that we are counting our second by second. We are near to death. So that's why we Buddhism keeping the birth and death is together. So I just like to share that all are we connection, all worlds are connection, because even if I give the example like which is really developed, which is undeveloped, and if they are developed, then that is the because of the other country undeveloped. So because of that, they are developed. If they are not developed, then because of they are development other country, so that's why developed. So something like that. So my main understood in the connection is that's it. So thanks for your pay attention, and especially thanks for Dr. Neeraj welcoming me to here from the small country.
I feel that very happy today to be with the representative from all over the world, particularly Venerable monk from Bhutan, right? And the lay person who had just listened earlier than this is from, as I see from the paper, he came from Canada, but he studied about parenting in Cambodia. Okay. I think two cases is very interesting because it's representative of the Buddhist world, Buddhist layman and Buddhist monk. Okay, I will comment on the part of Buddhist layman first. He showed the document from various sutta in Theravada Buddhism. For example, Kalovata Sutta and Brahmavihan, and I forgot the last one, but it's very good, and Mangala Sutta. Right? Those things is common among Buddhists in Southeast Asia country. For example, Ceylon, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. We share the same thing, the same culture, the same tradition. So when he show any sutta, we understand. And exactly, if we have no difference between those countries, even Thai parent maybe can claim the same as the Cambodian man claim. But the question is, in that case, he can claim because he do by himself, and exactly he is a former monk. He know, and when he married, he can teach what inside he teach to the children. That is the common. But the question is, because in society, nothing is exists independently, as the Venerable just say. Because in society, family, right? Family is in the country, mean in the control of government. For example, maybe we can do independently, because this case used to happen to Vietnamese before that. When we study about the history of Vietnamese Buddhists, that finally the one Venerable burned himself to protest against that case, right? For example, in Thailand, family had affected by the I would like to say that globalization, by the Western value, particularly the thing that affect to the family maybe the government policy. For example, educational policy, right? But that may be affect, right? Affect to the what he have shown, that it's maybe we have maybe this part may be put in commentator after the conclusion, right? That is for the part of the Cambodian gentleman. I love that, because he is the by seeing his presentation, I still have hope. Okay, come back to the presentation of Venerable from Bhutan. One thing that we have common between Theravada and Mahayana, that is dependent origination or Paticcasamuppada, or in Sanskrit Paticcasamutpada. So we have in common. We have in common in text and explanation, because that is. But another thing we have, maybe we have different, because this thing is fundamental. Particularly when we read the book written by Buddhadasa in Thailand, he also explained about the 12 link. When I read the textbook from the Dalai Lama, now it's still in the bookshop that Paticcasamuppada, right? So that thing is the fundamental of the Buddhism. When I refer to the Indian professor from Nalanda, when he showed the picture of social engagement, Buddhist social engagement can be run on that only, but on the Paticcasamuppada, or on the cause of, because of this that exists. And this thing is very great thing. Maybe if we want to know what is the core of Buddhism, on Buddhism all over the world, maybe can claim this thing as because that is the strongest point of Buddhism that we have in, and maybe we can say that why the Buddhism has existed 2,500 years and still be more because of that fundamental, right? So that is my comment on behalf of Venerable too, because he had to take lunch according to Theravada tradition. That is, I love that. I love to discuss. I love, and my person, I think this is a thing that beautiful in our society, right? That is my comment. Thank you.
And now we are coming to the end of the presentation in the first room. So after this,
we will go to have lunch. And after this, we will go to have lunch, and we'll participate in the closing ceremony. Please, thank you very much.